This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Give online therapy a try at www.betterhelp.com/Steve and get on your way to being your best self.
As the world's largest therapy service, BetterHelp has matched 3 million people with professionally licensed and vetted therapists, available 100% online, plus it's affordable.
Just fill out the brief questionnaire to match with a therapist. If things aren't clicking, you can easily switch to a new therapist anytime. It couldn't be simpler.
No waiting rooms, no traffic.
Yeah.
No endless searching for the right therapist.
And you can learn more and save 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/Steve.
That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Steve.
This episode is sponsored by Lumi. Now, when we say deodorant, people usually think underarms. Don't you agree, Steven?
Always.
But did you know that Lumi is a little bit different? It can be used anywhere externally on your body, and it actually prevents external body odor from happening in the first place.
Lumi's starter pack bundle is a great deal for new customers with incredible savings.
It comes with a full-size stick deodorant, a cream deodorant tube, 2 free products, and free U.S. shipping. And just for our followers, Lumi is giving you a total discount of almost 40% off when you order at lumi.deals/Nikki and enter code Nikki at checkout. That's lume.deals/NIKKI and enter code NIKKI at checkout. Hello, welcome back to Shit They Don't Tell You. I'm Nikki Limo.
What's up? It's Iceman.
And today we have an episode. I feel like it's the end of the year. And last year, when we were coming towards the end of the year, we were talking about basically taking this new journey, this new ride in Vegas. We were leaving our entire lives behind, everything that we had grown and built in Los Angeles, and packing it all up, including our 4 cats, and driving it all to Vegas to start anew. And last year, around this time of year, there were a lot of, excitement, but also speculation at what we thought was going to happen. But mostly it was like the unfolding of the unknown. And I feel personally like almost a completely different person now.
I could agree with that.
So much has happened this year that I guess wanted to digest and process that and like look back, because I used to do this kind of stuff in my journal, but I have been even so busy that I haven't kept up with processing my thoughts in my journal, just because everything is just changing at such a rapid pace constantly all the time. And I wonder if you feel the same. I also feel like during this time, you've had like a lot of growth in a separate arena, whereas like in LA, we did everything together and everything was kind of like, when we're growing together, everything's growing together. When we're losing together, everything's losing together. And this time I feel like it's 2 different departments, and we haven't checked in on each other as much as previous years, because like we kind of knew what was going on in previous years. But I'm very curious to see how you've perceived this whole year. I can't believe that it's been a year, to be honest. This year's flown by. Like, so much happened, but also, what the fuck, wasn't it just December?
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
I mean, a couple things stand out to me about this past year. Like, about this time last year, I think I was sitting on $1 million in crypto. That is not the case right now. But that's, part of the thing about crypto. The swings are fucking crazy to the up, and they're crazy to the down sometimes. Yeah. And then what happened with Luna, we're still putting the pieces together, but it looks like, maybe Sam Bankman-Fried had something to do with the attack that happened on UST.
Shit.
Yeah,
really?
That's all coming out right now.
Wow.
So it's pretty interesting because, normally in the crypto market, you expect a pullback or a retrace or any of that stuff, and we got killed instead. Mm-hmm. So, and granted, Luna was spun off into its own chain. It's Terra 2.0 now. A lot of that stuff is now vested, so it's all in a staking account. Not to get too detailed about the stuff, but there are projects still building. Crypto is not dead. Everyone says it's dead, and that's the mistake that everyone made last time. And
they always say that. I feel like every couple of years people say that. And
this is the time when I'm actually making big moves to set myself up for the next run. Been doing that since the day after Luna died. So This is what I do. I fucking love it. But yeah, no, you definitely, you definitely grow from stuff like this, like going through this kind of adversity. it's pretty insane how poorly some people, were affected.
Yeah.
And I'm very thankful not to be one of those people. But like it's, just reading horror stories out there about what happened to people. You can't help but be thankful for, where you're at in your life, and like, that I didn't like sell our house and put that into crypto or anything, like stuff that, I think people probably think about me is not what I do at all. But
yeah, you don't do day trading. Like whenever I bring up that you do crypto, people are like, oh, he's a trader. And I was like, nah, he doesn't trade. Like, it's not like you're more of a value investor than a trader.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I find projects that people are missing.
Yeah.
I buy them. And I'm covered in Woo merch right now, but none of this is even available. I had to make all of it because I like to be early and I like to show what my move's going to be before the market wakes up to it. So couldn't be more excited about, the following year to come. I don't know. I'm not that guy who sits here and goes, I know exactly when crypto's coming back. Or like tomorrow is the day to buy and then blah, blah, blah. But this kind of opportunity is how I view it, is pretty juicy right now, like with great projects being very affordable and getting positions locked in, looking at positions, not price. That's all I'm doing right now. And I'm very, very stoked.
Do you think that a lot of your enthusiasm and the way that you get excited about projects, even after a big, huge, devastating blow like the one that happened this year, has a lot to do with mindset? And I mean, because I think so, but what do you think you did differently, I guess, to put yourself in a mindset so that losing $1 million doesn't completely defeat you?
Well, I made over $1 million. So thankfully I cashed out some, right?
Yeah.
That helps out.
Yeah.
If I walked away with nothing
Yeah.
after being that correct about Luna the whole way up, that would be devastating because that was a lot of work.
Yeah.
But, obviously leaving a lot on the table is just something you don't forget. Like being, invested in all these protocols, loving the space as much as I do, being as enthusiastic about the space as I am, I think was probably part of what hurt me, is that I could have, been just paying myself a little bit better instead of just being enthusiastic about the future.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking 5 years ahead, not like, 2 years ahead.
So you've learned a lot from that. And so moving forward, what would you say your new game plan is? Like, let's say, I mean, obviously you're covered in Woo merch. So
Yes.
Woo is your new baby.
It's new baby.
It's replaced Luna as far as top of the list for you.
Yes.
Let's say the same trajectory happens. What would you do differently now after going through this?
Nailing those kind of multiples that I was doing, like, when I was buying it at $5 and then it goes to $120.
Yeah.
You pay yourself. I mean, good Lord. Like, you pay yourself way better than I did. Like, I basically paid myself a 6-figure salary for all the work I did, which it could have been, I should have paid myself a 7-figure salary. You know what I mean? Like, so stuff like that.
Or even like a multiple 6-figure, like a
Exactly.
deep into the 6
Deep into the like closer to the 7. Right?
Yeah.
Could have done it, right? So you just remember that. You remember, really, it's about the process, right? So like the focusing on the fundamentals is how I got there.
Yeah.
It wasn't just Luna that got me there either. Like, Luna was a place that I pivoted to after being invested in other projects that I really liked. And really just not being too smart for the market, I think, is important. Focusing on market needs, like what does the market need? And like honing in on that. I think I'm very good at that because like I said, I love this stuff. So like, you don't have to really pay me much to like talk about crypto, I promise, right? And that's kind of the point, is like I enjoy the space so much. And yes, the space has, just like anything, just like Hollywood, just like anything, there's a lot of bad with the good. But when you can find the good stuff and lock in on those things, it gets really exciting. Like I light up like a Christmas tree talking about the fundamental reasons why I like a certain project, especially, like a Woo, right?
Yeah.
Where people might just look at the storefront of Woo and go, oh, well, it's just another exchange. Who cares? But they're missing everything that's going on behind the scenes. And that's why I have an advantage, I think, on a lot of people in the market is I don't just judge the storefront. I go and look around and I go inside and I check it out and I talk to the people who work there.
Yeah.
And I think you have to have that kind of discipline. And, the reason why I found, Woo was I was vetting the entire top 200 like a year and a half ago. You know what I mean? Like that's just part of the discipline that you have to have if you're going to be in the space and looking, always looking at where you could be invested smarter than where you're at even now. So like even now, I know I'm covering Woo stuff, and it's all 60% for the memes, but it really is something that you can pivot right out of if you find something that's better. If you find a better place to put your investment, let's go, right? Like that's part of the game. So, but yeah, the fundamental reasons why, like Woo is a back-end liquidity provider for a lot of the biggest exchanges. For the biggest exchange, Binance, people don't know that. So like there's a lot of advantages. I mean, they just did, they just released a dashboard basically showing their balance sheet. So like you can see it in real time on their site. First of its kind in crypto. Nobody does that, by the way. A lot of exchanges like FTX were insolvent or are insolvent. They don't want to show their balance sheets because they don't want, that's nothing to brag about. Woo did the opposite. Being a back-end liquidity provider means that they, if you want to place a large bulk order for crypto, you're not going to impact the price that much. And so a lot of big players use Woo already. And that's why Woo has, even a bear market, hundreds of millions of dollars of daily volume. Stuff like that gets me excited, right? So, and really, it's all about positions, not price right now. Like when I sold my car for crypto, I think Woo was 62 cents. Today, I think it's 12, 13 cents. But thanks to that, thanks to the fact that the price went down, it swung all the way up to $1.78. I wasn't buying then. Yeah. I was buying like I said, my dollar cost average was probably in the mid 60s. And then once the market came down, I've gotten such a bigger Woo position while Woo grows and builds and devs out their entire ecosystem. So there's way more fundamental reason for Woo to be more valuable now, but it's not being there's no impact on the market because the market's risk off right now.
Yeah.
Once the market's back to risk on, everyone's hoarding their cash. Everyone's like getting out of everything. That's why you see no liquidity everywhere. But once we're back to risk on, I'm going to be at the tip of the rocket. I will have, a better position. I think I have more Woo than like everyone.
Yeah, I mean, this is like kind of the same principles that Warren Buffett talks about, where he goes value shopping, like he goes bargain hunting. Like when the market is scared is when the price goes down and when everyone's saying everything's scary and like don't buy. Well, if you've done enough research on the particular company that you're investing in, not just like, oh, price is low, I'm going to buy, but like, actually have done a lot of research and why you want to buy this and you're just waiting for the right price point, that's when he makes all his money. I mean, that's when you make your money is when you buy.
That's it. And, people who thought it's like, oh, well, I wish I was with Steve during that last run. But damn, or like, oh man, I wish I knew to get that then. Well, this is where the hard work is done, right? This is where, the Buffett saying of buying when there's blood in the streets. It's exactly what this is about. And like taking advantage of it so that, once we get to a certain point, having such a big position of something that every time it goes up a cent, you make thousands of dollars is how I got to where I got to multiple times now in this game, like from Bitcoin, well, not really Bitcoin as much because I had very little, but from Ethereum to what I did with Luna to what I did with SNX, AVE, all that stuff. It's about accumulating these beautiful, beautiful lows, knowing why you bought, sticking to your, to the reasons why you bought it. It's not a religious belief. You know why you bought it because you looked at the fundamentals, and are those fundamentals still intact? Are they still delivering? Are they still growing, right? Are they still building? A lot of teams aren't.
And also, I'm sorry for anyone that's not into crypto. I actually didn't know this was going to go into a huge crypto thing. I was thinking this episode was going to be more about like character development, but I think all of this stuff is what has shaped your character development throughout this year.
Definitely.
So having this background is like really important. It's a foundation.
People who listen to this know I'm into crypto.
Yeah, of course. I just personally wasn't expecting you to go into this deep into crypto.
Either. I didn't know.
Yeah. Well, how would you say, like, on a if you zoomed out a little bit?
I'm always zoomed out.
Steve in December 2021 to Steve now, like, how has what's happened this year kind of changed you or shaped you as a person, and what's your focus on, like, life wise? Like right now.
Yeah, I would say it's just about, I say it to myself every morning, like, we're going to do it again, right? I am singularly focused on doing what I do best in this space.
Okay, I want to hear, like, other aspects of your life, and, like, so earlier today I had a therapy session. This was like in addition to that, I was already going to do this topic, but I think something that was helpful for me is that everything kind of plays into each other. So it's not just about poker. Like, I am very focused on poker, right? But, like, there's a lot of other stuff going on, and everything is affecting each other, like how it affects your relationship, how it affects your home life, how it affects your hygiene and mental health, how it affects your friendships and your social circle. And I think that it's all interrelated. And I just wanted to hear more, I guess, about how, like, I know you have your eye on the prize when it comes to crypto, but how have you been able to, like, balance life, and how have other areas of your life been affected?
I think that I just, when it comes to balancing life, it's just my routine is what helps me balance.
What's your routine?
Wake up, right? Make sure that if there's something that you need, I prioritize that.
I need the dishes to be done.
Yeah, exactly.
Why aren't they done?
Well, I'll prioritize it. But exactly.
Yeah.
I always check in on you. And it's funny too, because, I would say our relationship's stronger than it's ever been.
Yeah.
And even with the adversity, in the middle of that, I don't think you could have been better, like, if it was possible. Like, it was just great.
I know my therapist earlier when I was telling her all the shit that's been going on, she's like, well, I noticed you didn't mention your relationship at all. How is that? And I'm like, oh yeah, we're, like, really solid. Like,
Yeah.
I, like, don't even need to think about that.
Exactly.
But she was like, well, how long can this go with it staying solid? And I was like, well, I think we're both in a transition phase right now. Obviously, we've talked about wanting to do more date nights again, because for so long we've always been, like, super hardcore about at least having one date night a week, and
Yes.
that has been not the case this year.
Yes.
But I don't think, like, one partner's like, hey, I'm neglected because of this no date night. So if I felt like we were drifting apart, like, I think we would repair that and, like, start building that again. But I feel like I'm so thankful that our relationship is so strong that it's the least of my worries. Like, I'm not even remotely worried about it.
But it's my number one priority.
Absolutely. She was like, because then she was like, after listing all the things that are going on in my, all the aspects of my life, she's like, what would you say is your number one priority? And I was like, listen, I'm really bad at prioritizing. But if I could only save one, relationship is by far 1,000%. That's like, if there's a fire going on, I'm dropping everything else and I'm going to that fire.
Our relationship has been the bedrock of everything else. All of the growth, everything.
And I was kind of trying to explain to her that, like, up until this point, we have done everything together in every aspect. So, like, my business life or work life involved you. My social life involved you. Everything was completely together. Whereas this year, you've been working on your own thing with crypto, and I've been working on my own thing with poker and JK. Yep. And we've been building things separately, but I don't see a divide. Like, I haven't felt, like, separated from you.
No.
Because we still, at the end of the night, talk to each other about everything going on.
We check
still
in
have the same
night.
social circle as each other, same mutual friends, same strong connection.
We have the same neighbors.
We have the same neighbors. We do. Yeah.
And we're all tight with them.
Yeah, we're going on vacation to Mexico together because I was telling her, yeah, we have these travel plans too in the midst of everything because there's holidays, there's travels, there's all kinds of shit going on this month. And she was like, well, that could be good for your relationship, but as long as you're not making it about your new friends. I was like, oh no, these are both of our friends. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
It's not just like they play poker, so they're my friends. Like, I almost think that, you are a favorite of the dogs, like and
I'm everyone's favorite.
And like, there's more to life. I think the reason we get along so much with them is like we both think there's more to life than just what we do.
God, yes,
right?
Absolutely. I mean,
so we can just connect on a human level. Not everything has to be about like work and networking. That was kind of the thing that turned me off about LA was that everything became about what can you do for me, like in our social circles. And it's just like, it feels so gross and inauthentic as a relationship.
And this time last year, I would say one of the biggest changes is that like, if something was going down over here,
yeah,
I place a phone call and my neighbor is here with like a fucking gun.
Yeah.
Not that I don't have one, but I'm just saying like that's how tight we all are now.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that.
Everyone has each other's backs.
Everyone has each other's backs. And then, and I feel that. And I'm constantly reminded of that like all the time.
Yeah.
And like, like on Sundays when like we're all watching football or whatever, I just feel very lucky that I had that. Because like, this time last year, I think I was tagging along with you to Red Rock and like just chilling, which is really fun. I fucking love Red Rock. It's a blast. But no, I have like, it's like you're playing poker. I'm watching football. The two things work really well together. Mm-hmm. Poker players fucking love football. I find they love crypto.
They all have sports bets going on the game.
They all know crypto somewhat, at least. Like,
there's a lot of crossover.
Yeah, a lot of crossover. I think so far I've talked to like, and I'm not like sucking my own dick here, but like I really am very involved in the space, like knowledge wise, as far as like researching about projects and stuff. And so far, I think there's like one party I went to, and there was a guy where no matter what I said, he knows it, and I was like, "Yo, this is tight."
Yeah,
and that's never happened to me in real life before. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like where I'm actually talking to somebody who like knows like something that's not, in the top 20 or whatever. Yeah. So it's just exciting to know that there are, like as you have grown this poker friend group, like I feel very involved with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I would say personal growth wise. I would say that this time last year, I was so like, I was very overwhelmed by how well we did with crypto. Mm-hmm. And not just me and you, but like Crypto Corner was crushing the fucking space, and it felt great.
Yeah.
And I remember like I even like got emotional on this show just talking about. That to me was the most rewarding thing was how many people did really well.
Yeah, I mean, during Vlogmas, we clinked drinks on you, like at Red Rock. Mm-hmm. We clinked drinks on you hitting your all-time high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
And then you went higher.
Yes, it did. But that was awesome. So like, I would say, looking back, it's like, man, I really wish I just like, when you're a quarterback and all you have to do is like down the ball, but you want to throw another touchdown. Mm-hmm. That's kind of how I feel. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you didn't need to.
I didn't need to.
Yeah.
I was already there. I was in the end. We were up by 3 scores.
The same way if I'm in a tournament on the bubble and I didn't need to risk all those chips.
Yep.
And I did, and I lost it, and now I don't have a shot at final table, or like it ruins my chances.
All I had to do was clock it.
Yeah.
And because I already had the win. Like, why wasn't that good enough for you, dude?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, going forward, I'm going to remember that mentality of like, it's just not quite enough yet.
Yeah. Is the juice worth the squeeze?
No, because especially right now, I'm very thankful for what I cashed out. Because once all the stuff started happening with Ukraine, I was like, I have to get some risk out of here. Right.
Yeah.
Got to go risk off a little bit. But
I know you asked me if I thought you were a giant pussy for doing that.
I did say that.
And I said no.
I did say that. I also called my dad about it. Because I was just like, he's one of my favorite sounding boards when it comes to like anything going on in the world. Mm-hmm. Talking to my dad about it. But he was like, no, I think it's a good call. So that helped me lock it in. But very thankful I did that. But even now, knowing what I had, knowing what I could be doing positionally, it's wild, right? Like, you know, with the advantages that I feel I have in this market, and you are not smarter than the market. I always talk about
Yeah.
that. I do not think I'm smarter than the market. It's just that I think that I do a little bit more of the reading and a little bit more of what it's going to take fundamentally and market need wise to like, I want to hitch to a market need, right? You're not smarter than the market. You should find out what the market needs and then try to be involved with that. That's all I do. And for me, I know I would, you know, once the market goes risk on again, the amount of position I would have would be so crazy. The multiples would be so insane. They'll still be insane in my opinion, you know, what I'm thinking is going to happen, but it's just going to take time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So yeah, just remembering that and how much ammo that gives me for the next run.
Yeah.
Cause you know, as fun as it is to be like, man, I went to zero with Luna or whatever, I really didn't. And also, it's about knowing what I could have had and remembering that. So.
Okay. And on that note, we're going on a break. When we come back, I'm going to talk about, I don't know, what I've experienced, I guess.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a story too.
Yeah, there's a lot there.
We'll BRB LOL.
LMAO, RFOL, RFL.
TTYL. OL.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Give online therapy a try at www.betterhelp.com/Steve and get on your way to being your best self.
Hey, Nikki.
Yes.
How would you say you go about being your best self?
I wake up, cry a little bit, have some coffee, and sometimes I just stop crying. And
I've noticed that.
What has really helped me, though, is getting professional help with dealing with my emotions.
Not kidding. There's been a night and day difference, I think, for Nikki and the way that she can work through her emotions since she has gotten help professionally. And BetterHelp makes it really accessible to you. You can match with a therapist, a professional licensed therapist, and it's super affordable. And you can just chill in your house. You don't have to go get in traffic for it and stress yourself out even more.
Yeah, you know, honestly, after I got professional help, I wondered why more people didn't do it. And I think there's a myriad of reasons. Some people just don't think they need it.
There's a stigma too.
I was one of those people. I didn't think I needed it. I do so much self-analysis that I was like, well, they can't tell me anything I didn't already know. But they actually can give you, it does help to have an outside perspective that can give you some extra tools that can never hurt you. And then it's like, well, the cost is too great. Well, with BetterHelp, it's really affordable, super low cost, a fraction of the price of what you would normally pay for traditional help. And if you don't connect with your therapist, this was the other thing, is that like you drive all the way out to a therapist and you're meeting for the first time and you don't really know if you're even going to like them. And then let's say you don't connect and then you have to go through the whole process over again to find another one. Well, with BetterHelp, you can just easily click to the next person and find someone that you connect with that would help you a little bit better. And I just think that the whole process has been streamlined in a way that makes it so easy and so accessible to everyone. And everyone, I genuinely mean this, I think everyone could benefit from therapy.
As the world's largest therapy service, BetterHelp has matched 3 million people with professionally licensed and vetted therapists, available 100% online, plus it's affordable.
Just fill out the brief questionnaire to match with a therapist. If things aren't clicking, you can easily switch to a new therapist anytime. It couldn't be simpler.
No waiting rooms, no traffic.
Yeah.
No endless searching for the right therapist.
And you can learn more and save 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/Steve.
That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Steve.
STEVE. This episode is sponsored by Lumi. Now, when we say deodorant, people usually think underarms. Don't you agree, Steven?
Always.
But did you know that Lumi is a little bit different? It can be used anywhere externally on your body, and it actually prevents external body odor from happening in the first place. So you don't even, you know how like normally you kind of wait till you stink? Well, maybe you don't, but
I don't.
You don't. But, you know, some people do. They go, oh, gosh, I got to put something on me. Well, you could actually prevent those smells from happening. And you put it on your glands, you know, normally like where your pheromones come out is where like your glands are. And it also can be where people get offended by your odor from. So,
well, that's the cool thing about Lumi too, is that unlike most deodorants that try to mask odor, Lumi's unique aluminum-free formula stops the odor causing reaction from happening in the first place.
And there's something for everybody. There's so many different scents that you can choose from. I personally really like the lavender sage. It makes me feel more relaxed. I don't know, that lavender scent. I get really stressed out, and that also can cause like hormones, like stress hormones can cause you to smell bad, and lavender can cause your stress to go down. So it really does prevent things, but I'm not trying to get all sciencey. I just really like the lavender sage scent.
Yeah, no, lavender's really good.
Yeah. What's your favorite, Steven?
Well, for you, obviously the lavender one.
Yeah. There's also a cool cucumber one that I like.
Yeah, that one's really
Just anything that like makes me relaxed. I like those. But there's also like flowery scents, all kinds of different ones.
Lumi's starter pack bundle is a great deal for new customers with incredible savings.
It comes with a full-size stick deodorant, a cream deodorant tube, 2 free products, and free U.S. shipping. And just for our followers, Lumi is giving you a total discount of almost 40% off when you order at lumi.deals/Nikki and enter code Nikki at checkout. That's lume.deals/NIKKI and enter code NIKKI at checkout. And we're back. I feel like this year has been the most magical year. Like, I can't figure out a better descriptor than that. I don't think I've ever experienced a year like this year. Like, I've had really good years.
Yeah.
And I've had years where, you know, like when I booked my first TV show, I was like, yeah, you know, like it's like a celebration. But I think that this year, more than anything, there's been like magic in every single aspect. Like it hasn't just been about poker, although that's been like the, I guess, leveraging tool, like the pivoting tool. It's like that I've used, like that was the, what's it called? The
life path.
The catalyst. The catalyst to change.
Oh, hey, real quick.
Yeah.
Check us out on Patreon. It really supports the show a lot. Patreon.com/sticky.
STIKKI. Yeah, I just feel like, I've never been lucky enough to have the opportunity to really explore myself and give myself time padding. You know, I've made money in a year, right? But it was a lot of work, hours spent.
Yes.
So it was like almost direct proportion to hours spent. There's no time richness or time wealth. This year, in a rare circumstance, I felt there was this window of opportunity to be able to explore in a way that I never have before because of the way our work was set up, where I was getting income from Big Mood, but we were stockpiling 8 episodes, so 2 months in advance. So we stockpiled 2 months in advance and during one weekend. Therefore, I didn't have to work on that for 2 months, even though money was coming in from that show. And then same thing with Shit They Don't Tell You, and like videos and vlogs I was able to put on hold for a little bit while I explored this new journey. And while it was poker, I didn't know that it was going to become this big of a part of my life. You know, it was just something that was really exciting me at the time. And I told myself at the beginning of this year to follow the curiosity, you know, like the little spark, that kind of inner child that like makes you really excited to go down some road, and not just like kid in a candy store, like every shiny thing I want to grab it, but like what really fulfills you on a deeper level of that, like you're in love with the process regardless of the result.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And I haven't had a thing like that since stand-up comedy. That like I was actually in love with the process, regardless of money, regardless of result, regardless of adulation or anything that was any accolades that would come from it. I don't care. I'm really excited about this process of getting better at this thing that I really love a lot. Like it really makes me filled with joy to do this thing. And the more I get better at it skills wise, the more joy I feel. And it's kind of like this spin up, this drum up of energy, of positive energy and joy. And then like the people I was meeting were adding to all of that. You know, I had never felt so at home than I did in a poker room. and it was so random. It feels random.
It happened so fast too.
Yeah. It just, when you start doing something and it just clicks, that's what it felt like with poker. And I could have never picked it. I never like spun a wheel and was like, I'm going to do that. Like
Never.
It just kind of happened. And I was like, well, I really like this feeling. And I've never been able to have the chance to explore feelings like this in the past. Like I said, the last time I felt like this was with stand-up, but I couldn't afford to work on it because I didn't have any money and I needed to pay my rent. So I had to work 3 restaurant jobs, and the best nights were also were weekend nights, which was also the best nights for working on stand-up. So I had to pick one, and I picked income and survival and being able to go to auditions during the daytime during the week. And this time I actually had the opportunity to explore it. And I was just like, wow, like, I don't know where this is going. It's really scary because I have no idea. I've never not had an idea before. And, but it's also really exciting. And it's like this like mysterious unknown, what's going to happen next. Never know what's going to happen next.
Literally tomorrow you could get an offer to like go somewhere and play poker. Yeah.
Or like tomorrow I'm playing a 1K tournament and there's a $2 million guaranteed prize pool. Like you never know like if that's going to be you. And there's like yes, there's a lot of luck involved, but there's also like this huge skill aspect that fulfills me more than when the luck gets involved. Right.
Yeah, of course. Knowing that you played the game the right way.
Yeah. Losing sucks.
Yeah.
But like losing and knowing you played right helps.
I can't identify with that more after what I just talked about.
Exactly.
With you.
Exactly. I relate so hard. And I think that's why, like, even though we're in different paths, it's like the same
talks.
Analogous.
Yes.
Exactly. The variance.
We love the journey.
Yes.
Getting wrecked happens.
And then the other, like, all these different magical things where like I just couldn't have planned it better. Like it really feels like I made a wish and I don't know how it's going to happen, but like things just start unfolding. And the wish was just to feel belonging, really, like joy and belonging and in love with life in the present moment, unattached to the outcome or unattached to the results of that. And when we moved here, I was like, oh, I hope like we have like, there's like a couple that we get along with, that we like, it would be so fun to have a neighborhood like where we could like hang out with people and like maybe they know how to play poker or like we have a poker night or something. Yeah. And like we couldn't have gotten luckier that our neighbors are like pro poker players.
But there are no poker nights.
There are no poker nights.
Because it is a job.
That is true. It is a job for them.
So it's like, hey, you want to work tonight?
Well, every night's a poker night, but not together. Yeah.
Exactly.
But I've learned so much from them. And then our other neighbors too, who are in real estate, like we just connect on a soul level. And we're all 3 couples like hang out, and
we have a very good vibe together.
Such a good vibe, and we're all together in the same part of the block. But yeah, it's that part. I have never felt a belonging in my own neighborhood before.
Agreed.
Like that,
Never even knew my neighbors.
I knew my neighbors when I lived with my parents. Like I knew them, but they're older. We don't hang out. Like we don't have beers together. We have nothing in common. They're nice. I'm like, hi, but like there's nothing in common. In LA, nobody talks to each other.
No,
like,
you avert your eyes.
Yeah,
it's weird. I had to get used to it.
Yeah,
I used to like, I came from other places. So you make eye contact, you say hi. You learn pretty quick in LA not to do that.
Yeah.
Like
so in the 15 years living there, never made friends with my neighbors except for when I got my friend an apartment in our same building. But we knew each other outside of the apartment building.
Chad and V were the closest we had to that because they were like a block or a couple blocks away.
Yeah, but again, we met them outside of being neighbors.
Exactly.
It's not like we met them as neighbors first and then they became friends. True. This was the very first time ever I've met neighbors that became like in a close inner circle with me.
Yes.
And I feel like when we started here in Vegas, I was very consciously aware of not giving my energy away to just anyone. I felt like I went the route of, oh, I don't have any friends. I want friends. Oh my gosh, like I'll do anything to have a group of friends, like I'll bend over backwards, even if it's like feels like kind of one-sided sometimes. When we started over, I was like, I would rather preserve my energy and only spend it if it's the right people, and we got so lucky where I'm like, these people are absolutely deserving of my energy. I'm so happy that we got to meet them and got to have them in our lives so strongly, like really quickly.
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind.
Yeah. So then there's that, and then poker did take off, and I was just so excited to learn a new aspect of the game because I'd been playing cash games for a year, but had never tried tournaments before, and it's like almost playing a different game. And to start learning something, get excited about like all these different elements of it that are so different than what I was used to, and then to just win. Like when people were saying that like that's the odds of making it X amount in a tournament is like so few and far between. It was just like one after the other final tabling, and it was I got used to that, and so that was like really exciting. Wouldn't change it for the world, but then I think I got a false idea of what was normal because I just expected to final table 1 out of every 5 tournaments,
which doesn't happen.
You like don't even cash 1 out of every 5 tournaments usually. So
dude, even our neighbor who's like fucking one of the most,
it's like the top.
He's like the top online player in the world. He plays like 100 tournaments a weekend, like online.
Yeah,
and like he'll be happy if he cashes like 15% of those. Mm-hmm. Like he's really happy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So like, that just goes to show the variance is wild.
So much. And then the tournament crowd, the tournament players are so much different than the cash game players in an exciting way. Like they all know each other. Cash game players, like we know each other, but we don't hang together. Tournament players, they're traveling to tournaments together. They're, if you bust and your friend and this other guy busts, you have a drink together at the bar or whatever, you're commiserating, you jump in again the next day on a flight. And there's definitely this community aspect to it that's really interesting to me. I feel like a tourist a lot of the time where I'm like, this is fun.
But you don't look like a tourist because one of the funnier things about walking into a casino now with Nikki is all the dealers know her. Mm-hmm. And they have inside jokes.
Yeah, in a way that I didn't plan. Like I didn't even actively try to befriend everybody
because I've known you for this long. Like, this is like not who Nikki. Know me. This is not who Nikki is.
I'm not the person. I'm not the one going out and meeting everybody and gallivanting around.
It's more likely that I show up somewhere and then the people are like, "Oh, hey, what's up, bud? Yeah, we had fun watching football with you last week or whatever." Yeah. But like this has been hilarious to see.
I actually, when I started playing poker, the thing I liked the most was that I could slip in and out without anyone knowing who I was. Like I could play a different character. I could be whoever I wanted to be because nobody knows me. Yeah. So I could just I put on different characters every day. I still sometimes make up whole backstories about what I do for a living, which is really fun just to play. But now a lot of people know who I am, so they can call me out.
This is funny.
It's just so funny. Ruined that aspect of it, but
considering you started seriously about a year ago, and you like taking it really seriously about a year ago, this is just a hilarious run.
Yeah,
hilarious.
I mean, I just yesterday, I was guest commentating on the vlogger stream for the WPT World Championships that's at the Wynn right now, which I did not realize is like a little mini WSOP. Basically, it's like the winter WSOP. Everybody is there. Everybody in the poker world is at the Wynn right now. And when it's Vlogmas, and I was vlogging in the car about how the Biggest Bluff author Maria Konnikova was playing cash games right next to me a few nights before, and I've always wanted to meet her. I didn't know she was playing next to me. Like she was on the table right next to me. And I was like, man, if I run into her again, I want to tell her how much I am a fan. And then immediately upon entering the building, she is talking to my neighbor who I just talked about. She's hanging out with like the people that I know there. And I introduced myself, and I told her how much I liked her book, and it was great. And I just feel like this camaraderie. A year ago, I was reading her book. A year ago, in October is when I started reading my book on my therapist's recommendation. My therapist was the one that recommended her book to me. I related so hard to it on every level, just the way she analyzes things. Her book is all about someone who went from knowing zero about poker, like didn't even, had never played a game before, not even casually, to winning a WPT title.
Wow.
So it's pretty wild. The book is really great, and the whole journey is really informative about the inner workings of the poker world. But last year I was just a cash games player, and her whole book is about tournament players and the tournament world. And it just seemed like almost like fictional characters in a book, like you're like, wow, what a cool world, but not something that I thought I would ever like be involved in. And now I'm rereading the book, and I know like half the people mentioned, which
Funny.
is so weird, because last year when I was reading it, you could have said any name to me. I don't know who they are.
Yeah,
so
you don't register them.
Yeah, it doesn't register in my brain. And now looking back through, I'm like, oh, she was talking about him? What? That's crazy. And yeah, it's been so wild like that. Like maybe subconsciously manifested that into my life, or Mr. Magoo'd my way. You have this
Mr. Magoo'd it.
analogy where
Thank you.
I just tend to Mr. Magoo my way into things.
You do.
Do you want to talk about that?
Nikki, look, you're not a planner.
As much as I would like to be with my
Yes.
bullet journals,
You have all
and
the
my
intentions in the world of being a planner, but you're not a planner. Like
not with big things.
not with big things. Like if you put like 7 rakes in a yard, Nikki will step on all of them and it'll hit her in the face. But then somehow, in some way, she manages to like jujitsu it into like momentum for like, she just falls into the right thing at the right time. It's hilarious to watch. And I promise I'm not taking anything away from her achievements the way that I'm describing it constantly as hilarious. But what's hilarious about it is how amazing it is that you've done this so fast, and how like people who have known us, quote unquote, for like a decade now, are like, what the fuck? Nikki just won like a just final table World Series of Poker. Like she plays poker.
Yeah.
Like that's,
it wasn't even known. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did keep it kind of secret for a little bit.
You did, but I was there for every day of it, watching you grind it all out and like learn and like play with, your simulators and shit.
Yeah.
So like it's less about how I find it funny and more about how funny I find it that other people are
perceiving it.
Yeah. Are just like, and I told this to Nikki a year ago too, before she started playing poker like seriously. I was like, wouldn't it be so fucking funny if you're like a known professional poker player now, and that's how people know you? They don't even fucking know about YouTube shit.
That'd be hilarious.
And here we are. And like, and when she goes into these rooms, they know her for poker, which is fucking what I was talking about. I love it.
I don't like to use the term poker pro yet, but I am a reg.
I use it.
I'm
You
a
don't use
reg.
it. Yeah, you're a reg.
I'm a reg.
Yeah.
I am just really excited to be there. I mean, like the thing I am scared of is the people that play so often they don't even enjoy the game anymore. I don't ever want that to be the case. So I do everything in my power to prevent that, like finding other aspects of the world and the field that I really enjoy, like the different types of people and the talking at the table. The poker vlogger community is a little bit different than the tournament poker community, which is a little bit different than the cash game. It's like I've kind of gotten to like have a taste of each one without fully diving into it. There's this D12 song. It's like Eminem reference.
Of course.
So in My Band, there's a song called My Band where it's basically about how the rest of D12 is mad that like Eminem gets all the spotlight because he's Eminem, even though they're like all in the same band together. And there's this guy named Bazaar in the group who he's like, I built this shit. Superman video, I was in the back. This video, I was in the back. I feel like I was in the back of like all these different things, like the Hustler drama that went on with the Jack 4 incident. I was on the Hustler stream the week before.
It's pretty funny.
Like I was at the back, and then the WSOP stuff is like I was just there. I was just in the back.
It's funny.
I feel like I was just in the back of everything.
Speaking of loving the game and not blaming the game when there's bad things that happen.
Yeah.
I was so yesterday I popped into Red Rock real quick. I don't even think I told you that I left the house because
Yeah, I don't recall
you said you needed solitude.
Oh, yeah.
So then I was like, oh, right. Well, I wanted to go get my sport. You know, if you want to do sports betting in Nevada, you have to like show your ID like in person, right? To like get on the app. Otherwise, you have to like go to the casino every time. So my neighbor has been placing these bets on Sunday when we watch games, and he's like, you're not betting with me. Come on, you're not betting with me. So like, you know, just to throw in like 15, 20 bucks a week on like a game that we're both watching. And then when I was signing up, the ladies that's signing me up, she's like, you know, just don't have too much fun with this. And I was like, no, trust me, my neighbor, he's a big Giants fan. He'll be watching the Giants, and then they score a touchdown, and he's rooting against their scoring a touchdown because he bet the under.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, if this takes away my love for NFL, fuck that. Trust me, lady, not gonna happen to me.
Yeah.
But you know, if you have a bad hand in a tournament, your aces get cracked.
Yeah.
You could blame poker and walk away and say fuck poker.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I got killed with Luna. I could blame all crypto and say all crypto's a scam. You know, but the stuff that you love, always remembering why you love it, I think is so important and such a beautiful part of the process.
Well, that's why I was asking about mindset earlier, because actually rereading The Biggest Bluff, she talks about luck in it a lot, and how those who deem themselves lucky, who like are self-proclaimed, like they asked they surveyed like 1,000 people, and they asked like, do you consider yourself a lucky person or not? And those who said like, yeah, I do consider myself a lucky person, they did more studies on them and found that they actually find the opportunities more.
Yes.
As well. Like, yes, luck is involved. It's involved with a lot of aspects of life, like whether or not you can land a job, whether or not, you know, whether or not you win the lotto or whatever. But there's certain elements of the people that deem themselves lucky that they actually see the opportunities more so than people who deem themselves unlucky. And part of this study was they had them read through this newspaper and count how many pictures were in the newspaper. And the people who deemed themselves unlucky, it took them an average of 5 minutes to count how many pictures were in the newspaper, whereas the people who deemed themselves lucky, it took an average of 10 seconds. And that's because underneath the first picture in the newspaper, it said, stop right here. There are 26 pictures in this newspaper.
That's
and
so sick.
They observed that detail while the other people didn't. And it was like 50% of the people who deemed themselves lucky, or 50% or more, I can't even remember, but it was a huge percentage of the people who thought they were lucky were the ones that would find that.
I love it. It's such a good example.
Yeah.
That is the mindset.
Yeah.
Right? Like
you blame this, then you blame that, but really like you're spending so much time blaming everything else, you're missing the opportunities. You're missing it.
It drives me insane.
Yeah.
Like it drives me crazy because like so many people just turn their backs on the crypto market. They're not paying attention. They got their blindfold on. And I'm like, oh my God, this is when you're supposed to be paying the most attention. But you know, it's a mindset, unfortunately. And it's a you have to have the wherewithal to be able to stick it and like, you know, be able to have the strength to dollar cost average and all the things that you got to do like during these lows, grinding out the lows. Like you have to stay mentally, you know, like on top of yourself.
Yeah. Like if you're expecting a bad beat to happen, it like happens more. Exactly. And it's not like a luck energy thing. It's just like you don't play as well when you're expecting a bad beat, and then it kind of just happens. It happens to everybody.
Happens to everybody.
But you're spending so much of like your energy thinking about it happening to you that it just becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy all the time.
Like I said, I sold my car for Woo at 62 cents. Like I could sit here and go, oh, boo-hoo, like that's worth less now. Or I go, I know why I bought. Holy shit, I get to buy even more. That's fucking tight. It's an opportunity.
Yeah, you understand the bigger picture and the variance and stuff.
And I'm not smarter than the market.
And it helps you.
Exactly. Exactly. It helps you so much to maintain that mentality when opportunity comes back around. Because that is what it is. Like, believe it or not, like, yes, I could have used that now, but I didn't know that now was going to happen. I'm not that guy who like sits there and looks at a chart and I go, oh, I know that the price is about to go here.
Yeah. So I think overall, like this year, it was already starting to go this way, but this year I feel like my philosophy on life just shifted, where I think in LA and a lot of the industry we were in before, a lot of the emphasis was results oriented and like people judge you by the number, basically.
Always.
And although it happens in crypto and poker where people are judging you on your wins and losses, I don't judge myself that way anymore. Something shifted to where I just see life more as the process than as the end result. And I think a lot of this came from losing and being like, what really matters? Like, I want $1 million. Okay, but why do you want $1 million? Because you think it will make you happy? Well, what if you could be happy without $1 million? What if you could just live in that energy? Like, isn't that the whole goal of everything anyway? This was the first time ever I've had a pool, and I was so fucking excited to have a pool. And I was relaxing in the pool, and I started panicking because I felt like I was wasting time. Like, I could be doing all this stuff and getting all this stuff done. But then I was like, well, what's the point of getting all this stuff done? Well, because I need to build a career. Well, what's the point of building a career? Well, because I need to make money. Well, what's the point of money? Well, it's so I can relax more.
Yeah.
I could relax more. Like, instead of relaxing in that moment, I was so worried about this thing. And I had an aha moment where I was like, you can just choose the end.
Yeah.
You can just choose the end. You actually made up all these limitations of why you couldn't have the relaxing moment now, that you hadn't built something yet that would give you the money, that would give you the relaxation. So you missed it.
Yeah.
You missed the relaxation. Like, you can have it now. And I think it really changed the way that I approach life, where realizing when I'm doing that, when I'm in that, like, because I'm still guilty of like reverting back to old tendencies. I've been doing that forever. It's a habit. So, but when I catch myself now, I'm like, yeah, but if I could choose anything right now, if I could choose any feeling, what would it be? Would it be this stressed anxiety mess? What's it for? And then I like have to consciously be like, no, I would choose to be happy. Well, what makes me happy? Well, doing this makes me happy. Coloring in this fucking flower in my journal makes me happy. Like, that makes me happy. Rollerblading around the lakes makes me happy.
Yeah, you're pretty cute rollerblading.
Yeah. Like, why would I wait to get to a certain financial point to rollerblade around the lake?
True.
If that makes you happy.
That's very true.
You know? And so it really changed a lot for me, even spiritually. And like, I've been listening to a lot more Abraham Hicks Esther and Jerry Hicks lately, and she talks about all this stuff that I kind of realized on my own, but she kind of articulates it more concisely than what I've been able to in my brain, and she puts it into words so that I can like kind of remember and digest it better. But it's all about this. It's all about like not getting caught up in this lack of this like gap between what you want and what you don't have yet, you know, like I want it, but it's over there. And like, you're like thinking about the gap of you not having it yet, instead of just like, what would it feel like to have that? Well, it would make me really happy. What are other things that give me that same feeling? I can have that feeling now. Now I don't really need it as much. I'm not so desperate to have it, and it ends up coming in sooner.
Exactly.
And it's just like, it ends up coming in on its own.
And don't you just get excited to play the game again?
Yes.
Like, that's what it's all about for me. Like, I found my poker a couple years ago. It's my hobby. I love the game. It's fun. You know, there's ups and downs and all arounds. But man, like I can't, you know, even the people I've gotten into crypto, they're like, man, I can't pay attention to like the old markets the same way I used to, because this is just such a big space that is so crazy innovative in ways that I never even thought possible.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's my game. Like, there's so much joy in this game that I really like. And people always ask me too, poker people are always like, are you going to play poker? And I'm like, no, but I really like watching you guys play poker. Like, I like your game. It's not for me.
Yeah. It's
but I like watching it.
I like watching football.
Exactly.
I'm never going to be a football player.
I'm not going to throw it.
But I like watching it.
I could probably catch a couple of them, even though my wife doesn't
I don't
think so. I could probably bring a couple down.
I don't think so.
Both feet in.
While a guy's coming after you and you have to run that fast. First of all, I've seen you try to run. You make it like 10 seconds.
There's a lot of running. Run after like our nephew going to a pool. I don't have to. I only need 10 seconds, babe, because I have a long stretch.
I'm talking about when we go around a walk for like 2 miles, and I'm like, let's go for a run, and then you run for like 2 blocks, and you're like, I gotta walk. Okay,
but
there's a lot of running involved in catching a football.
I will beat
I
you.
think that you're
any day in
overlooking.
You want to run a 40 with me? You don't want to, trust me.
No, I don't want to. But you want to run like for what is it called what's it called the
Stimulation?
endurance.
Oh.
But like there's another S word that stamina.
Stamina.
You don't have the stamina.
I think I have the stamina another way.
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Oh yeah.
No, I haven't seen it in a while.
Oh, good. Okay.
I haven't seen it in a while.
Good. Wait,
Yeah.
You haven't seen it in what, 4 days?
Yeah.
I'll bring some stamina your way.
Bring it, Green.
All right.
I don't think you can.
I love it. Such a good move. Such a good strategy.
If you ever want Steve to do something, just say that you don't believe, like you genuinely don't believe he can do it.
Yep.
And he'll do it.
Like Thanksgiving turkey.
Bro, I 100% did not believe you could pull off a Thanksgiving turkey. Like I was your biggest hater, to
You
be
were my
fair.
biggest
Like,
hater.
and genuinely couldn't believe you could pull it off. Like sometimes I goad you into like, yeah, I don't think you could do it, and then like you get all heated and you do it, and I'm like, I thought he could do it the whole time. But this time I was like, no.
Yeah. You
So,
were a big hater.
Like
and
the amount I think you could catch a football is how much I thought you could do a turkey.
dude, that whole day too, Nikki's like, it's Thanksgiving. She's like, you're gonna be late. Like you're not gonna have the turkey ready in time.
This bro didn't even start cooking till like noon.
Yeah, I'm
and
like,
people were coming over at 5.
and what did I tell you?
And you didn't even start like preparing the turkey. Like you're supposed to wash it and do all this stuff.
Didn't have to. Like I said,
Didn't have to wash it?
No, like I said,
You did wash it.
I did wash it, but like I said, I got this.
Yeah.
I'm the guy. You married the guy. It always happens. It always works out, and that's why they call me the Miracle Man. And you have to admit, our guests show up, the turkey's done,
Yeah. I honestly was thoroughly impressed. Like
and everyone liked it.
I don't dish out compliments very often
No, you do not.
because they have to be genuine, and I am thoroughly impressed.
How many times have you thought I was going to miss a flight? You thought I'm not going to be able to.
Okay, but if I had to put money on it, I don't think I would have bet on you missing the flight. But if I had to put money on the turkey, 100% I'm taking that bet.
you.
Like 100%, I would have lost so much money taking that bet.
Also, Nikki leaves town. She comes back. I got all the Christmas lights up and going.
Yeah, I thought in my head, like, it's not a big deal because I'll just redo them. Like, I probably won't get it right. But the turkey, I was like, I can't redo that. Like, I don't know how to cook a turkey.
No.
And also, I don't eat meat, so.
Did I swish? Did I also nothing but net the Christmas lights?
I'd say that you hit the backboard and got it in because, like.
Because of the net, because of the stupid net thing.
Well, I set you up for success, first of all. And secondly, you didn't get the net lights
The net
quite
lights.
right.
That's
Yeah.
what it is. The net lights.
So maybe everything but net.
How dare you? I hate how much that worked.
Yeah.
For you, I hate that.
Thank you.
I really don't like that. Mark, you can cut that.
I like when you don't like things.
Mark, you can cut that, please.
Okay.
That makes me look
That make
foolish,
me look
Mark.
good.
So
Okay.
thank you.
All right. Well, on that note, there was so much more. I didn't think we'd talk about this for an hour, but like I was gonna go into like, you know, our hopes, dreams, and fears going into 2023, and I guess you'll have to wait till 2023 to
I'm
find out.
motherfucking stoked for 2023.
Me too, but I'm also
stoked.
I'm scared and stoked, just like I felt in 2021, but in
Yeah.
a different way.
You feel like that every year.
Yeah, but this year I feel this transition is a big transition.
It is.
Not a tiny one.
But also, you're not like done with tubing or anything like that.
No,
Like,
but there is actually one of the things I wanted to talk about was how hard balance is right now. Like, what do the things that I'm neglecting, I'm like, I can't neglect too much, right? But then how much do I need to water? How long can my plants go without dying?
well, like I said
You know?
to you the other day, because we check in every day, I was like, you have filled the poker cup all the way to the top. It's running over. I think you're pretty good there. Like you compensated one way to really learn the game, and now you have a very good understanding of the game. By the way, check out Nikki's Twitch streams. I fucking love Nikki's Twitch streams. I watch
Twitch.tv/TrickNix.
I watch all of them. She doesn't just play tournaments on there, but she also just talks about what she's doing and why she's doing it. Mm-hmm. And one of my favorite things in the world is listening to someone who's passionate about somebody talk about their passion, or somebody who's passionate about something
Yeah.
to talk about their passion. And that's you playing poker. I really enjoy watching it. And I have no intention to play myself. It's just really entertaining. Like, you're very good at talking about poker. And I think that that's kind of what you're stepping up into right now.
Yeah, I feel that way. I didn't even realize, because when I started, I was like, man, is this boring for people? Because like I'm really into it, but I have lost track of like, if it's entertaining or not to people. Like I just am in it where
you're
I'm like
kicking it. You're kicking it.
focused on it.
It's very much like hanging out with the real you when you're kicking it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love it. It's very fun.
I do get very heated at people in the game.
Yeah. But you also it has your personality to it.
Yeah.
Like I love when you get two kings and you play the Cowboys thing. I fucking die.
I know.
at
I want to
that.
do more animations.
And I love the joy that it brings you when you do it. But I also love that you can't hear it because little show note on the back end on the behind the curtain.
Yeah.
She for some reason can't hear her soundboard when she hits that particular cue.
I don't know why.
So she can't hear it. So like we all get to enjoy it, but she doesn't get to.
Yeah, I only get to see the Cowboys.
But it's such a fucking corny move.
It's so stupid.
It reminds me of like watching your grandma play Buffalo Gold Slots. Like it's just a really corny game, but it's really funny.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I enjoy that. I plan on adding more corny animations to my stream. I actually do really want to work on my stream.
I love your stream.
You know what I feel like I did this year was plant a bunch of seeds and like I get to that one's growing. Let's see what that one's like, and I'm watering them all, but like they're growing at different times and different paces, and I don't know which one to tend to more, but like I love all of them, all the garden that I planted, and I'm like I just want my babies to thrive and grow, and I'm in love with the gardening process.
I also love my JK boys. I love the show. It's been really fucking fun. Like this past year has been a blast with the boys. Like this year ago, like next month, they all came to Vegas and like we kicked it and like shot in Vegas, and that was really fun.
Yeah, I can't believe that was a year ago.
I know, it's crazy.
So crazy.
But like that, like, those boys are the best, and like doing the Careful Boys iteration of the show has been super fun, and we all feel a certain ownership over it, even though it's Joe and Bart's show, always will be. But we all feel like we all have like
a vested interest.
we're like a team, and it really feels like everyone wants to be there for the first
time
you all
ever.
Want
it to succeed and do
we
well.
all want to do well, and it has been doing well. It's been growing finally, so it's just super cool. But the fact that everyone wants to be there, I think, because you can tell.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah. Well, me too. And I'm excited about 2023. I hope you're enjoying your holidays. I did have a lot of mishaps on Vlogmas this year. Swing and a miss. But I'm still trying. So if you want to go over to youtube.com/Nikki, you can see the progress or non-progress that I'm making. And
some might say Nikki was tending to a bomb instead.
Yeah, I still am. Apparently my old laptop is a ticking time bomb.
Yeah. About to go off any minute.
It has an expanded lithium ion battery and it could explode at any minute. So that's fun to have in my house. And hope I see you next year. Thanks for tuning in.
We should knock over one of the cameras and put an explosion effect in.
Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Okay, I'll see you guys next time.
Later.
Bye.